Hello students, so here is the suggested solution for assignment 4.2. This time round we are still solving a quadratic equation, but instead of factorizing the quadratic equation, we will be doing a little bit of the completing the square, right? So here we go. First question, of course, we can still do the factorization. So just a question here for warming up purposes. So 8x squared plus 14x equals to 0. We can factorize it by extracting 2x as the common factor. So 2x multiplied with 4x plus 7. So that means 2x equals to 0. That means resulting in x equals to 0, or 4x plus 7 equals to 0. That gives us x equals to negative 7 over 4, right? Now, question two. Here we are told to actually perform completing the square. Yeah. So to complete the square, x squared plus 4x minus 3 will give us x squared plus 4x. Then we look at the coefficient of x, which is 4, divided by 2 to get 2. So we plus 2 square minus 2 square. Then after, of course, the minus 3 is still there. Okay. So x squared plus 4x plus 2 square is actually x plus 2 bracket square. Then minus 2 square minus 3 result in minus 7. So from here, we have successfully completed the square. So to use the completed the square form to help us to solve the quadratic, so we have this situation: x plus 2 bracket square minus 7 equals to 0. That means x plus 2 bracket square equals to 7. We square root both sides, so x plus 2 equals to plus minus square root of 7. So x will be negative 2 plus minus square root of 7. So we take our calculators. We do this once where it is a negative 2 plus square root of 7. We have 0.65. And then negative 2 minus square root of 7, we got negative 4.65. Of course, the question request for two decimal places. We follow the question, right? Whatever accuracy the question wants us to round off to. Right, question three. Here's another question where we perform completing the square. So 2x squared plus 5x minus 10 equals to 0. What we can do is we divide the left hand side by 2 and divide the right hand side by 2. So if I divide by 2, I have x squared plus 5 over 2x minus 5. 0 divided by 2 is still 0, right? Then after that, the coefficient of x or b is actually 5 over 2. So I divide that by 2 is 5 over 4. So I'm going to add 5 over 4 square minus 5 over 4 square. So x squared plus 5 over 2x plus 5 over 4 square will give us x plus 5 over 4 square. And what happened on this side? Negative 5 over 4 squared minus 5. I use my calculator, put them together. And then since this is an equation, I can bring it to the other side of the equation. I'll have 105 over 16. Okay, so I square root it. So I plus minus square root of 105. Now, square root of 16 is 4. So I can write that as 4. It looks a bit neater. Then after that, this value, I'm going to minus 5 over 4. So once with the positive, once with the negative, three significant figure, x is 1.31 or negative 3.81, right? Question B, right? So here's another situation. This time around, very tricky because the coefficient of x squared is actually 2/3. Uh, but not to worry, right? So what we can do is, well, let's multiply by 6. Why I multiply by 6? Because I look at the denominator is 3, denominator is 6. So if I multiply by 6, we don't have to deal with fractions, right? So I do that, I multiply by 6, I get 4x squared plus 5x minus 12 equals to 0. And then I want the coefficient of x squared to be 1, so I can divide by 4. So I get x squared plus 5 over 4x minus 3 equals 0. Alternatively, from the very beginning, you could, of course, just divide by 2/3 or multiply by 3 over 2. We get the same result. Okay, so there are more than one approach to this. So once I have this situation where I have a quadratic where the coefficient of x squared is 1, I can do completing the square. So x squared plus 5 over 4x plus 5 over 8 squared minus 5 over 8 squared minus 3, right? So same thing, this portion over here become x plus 5 over 8 squared. The other portion, I just use the calculator, bring it to the other side of the equation, 217 over 64, square root, so plus minus square root of 217 over 8, because square root of 64 is 8. And then after that, subtract 5 over 8, right, on both sides. So that gives us x equals to 1.22 or x equals to negative 2.47. Okay, question 4. So question 4 here, we are just going to use the quadratic formula, right? So, well, just memorize the formula and you're good to go, right? So in this case, arrange them so that we have ax squared plus bx plus c in this manner. So a is 4, b is -3, c is -5. Plug it into the formula, punch your calculators carefully, and x equals to 1.55 or -0.804. For part B, this time round we are given a fractions. No issue. We can handle this, right? So the idea is first combine them together by getting a common denominator. So the common denominator between 4 and 3x will be 12x, right? So 3x squared plus 32 over 12x equals to 5. Cross multiply, that means I multiply by 12x on both sides. So 3x squared plus 32 equals to 60x. Rearrange them so that we have ax squared plus bx plus c. Uh, so a is 3, b is -60, C is 32. Plug them into the formula and we have x equals to 19.5 or 0.548. All right, have a nice day.